Hey all, Avros here, back with the next Lufenia Plus fight. This is for the 4th anniversary countdown event, Return of the Queen, which shockingly has no queens on the actual banner itself. This is just from a sort of storyline perspective, but does have a king on the banner. The fight itself is against the Lamia Queen, which is obviously where the event gets its name, and the 2 mannequins that it brings along with it, which this time happen to be Penelo and Hope. The orb for this one's really painful. The description in-game says that it relies on cleansing buffs from the Lamia, which will add 12 to the count of the orb, or letting the Lamia take a turn, which will add 2 to the count. The orb itself does spawn in at quest start with a 10 count, and will disappear when the boss reaches 50% HP. Knockback damage is reduced by 100%, which applies to both bravery and HP damage for this fight, and the Lamia Queen has a mechanic where if 10 consecutive turns are taken by your party, its next turn will be instantaneous and it removes all debuffs from the Lamia before it does any attacks. Other than this, is a pretty straightforward Lamia Queen boss, nothing we haven't fought before for as far as the other attacks go. You just need to watch out for its attacks as well as what the mannequins themselves bring to the table, with Penelo's Evanescence being a particularly potent attack, so you really don't want it to get any turns throughout the entire fight. So with this one, the prevailing strategy ended up being rush the boss to 50% HP and get rid of the orb, dealing with the letting a Lamia Queen attack to clear the orb out so that it can get buffs, and having to cleanse them is more trouble than it's worth, so why really let it do that when you can effectively race it to 50% HP, clear the orb which does not come back for the rest of the fight, and then deal with killing the boss quickly afterwards. So a team for this one that I brought along was to bring along obviously Bartz as per usual, and fully BT'd out Machina and Cloud of Darkness. The strategy boils down to the following. You need to keep resetting the wave over and over until your team's turn order is Machina, Bartz, and then Cloud of Darkness, and then follow a very specific order of turns to make sure that you get the orb done before the Lamia gets to have its instantaneous turn, because that will be too close to that 10 count, which also will expire the orb because it does spawn in with the 10 count as well. So the turn order is, you want to use Kurasame's LT call on Machina, use Machina's LT for the second turn, followed by using his BT finisher on the third. The 4th turn will be Bartz using his BT finisher. The 5th turn is on Cloud of Darkness's turn. You want to use Sid Reign's LD call, bringing Bartz up as the first one to get a turn after COD, and then use COD's BT finisher on the 6th turn. The 7th turn will be Bartz using his AA, so that's the all boost. Next turn will be Bartz using his call for Cait Sith LD, which will break all the enemies, preventing COD from getting a free turn and messing up his turn order. And then Bartz wants to do his attack on the next turn to get the turn order back around to Machina, which will be turn number 8. And this will cause the next attack to be Machina, obviously because of the Sid Reign's one. The recommended attack to use with Bartz is to use his skill 2 to try and get his mastery up, and will also get his BT to 3 stacks, as well as having that Cait Sith LD call buff up, making sure that there's plenty of bravery refund for all of the attacks that are going on. And then you want to use Machina's BT phase itself, and then spam the Furious Blades Burst, which has replaced his HP Plus attack, as this will do the highest amount of damage possible, of course making sure to target the Lamia Queen. Cloud of Darkness will of course follow up this attack with its BT effect, and the boss should be down below 50% HP after Machina's BT phase ends, making sure that the orb does disappear. Next, you need to make sure that you get your summon effect up as quickly as possible. You can accelerate this by using any launches, using Sid Reign's call, and then once you have the summon ready, switch out Cloud of Darkness for the friend twins, use their BT finisher, then summon and spam LD with the twins, Furious Blade Burst as well with Machina, and then use Bartz's LD. I did also use Double Hand as well to get all of his full mastery up, and the fight should be over shortly after the summon. Make sure you're very careful with your turn control here, as I did have an initial attempt where Penelo managed to get a turn after summon ended and used Evanescence and wiped the party, so do make sure that if any of the mannequins are left up after the summon phase, to make sure that you control their turn order, make sure you get, any breaks you need to do or anything like that up on them to make sure they don't get a turn, especially not Penelo, as she is very dangerous in this fight as previously mentioned. And other than that, there's not really too much more to cover for this fight. Follow this strategy and you won't have too much trouble with getting this all cleared, but there is of course other strategies available, so if you'd like to discuss them down below in the comments section, more than happy to sort of provide any assistance I can there to help you with getting through this fight. And I hope you enjoyed this one, and catch you on the next video.
口よ。バシッとやるよ。
こっからマジだ。
お願い。
今だ。
届け。覚悟はいい？
ビビんなよ。
必殺。
ドッカーン。さあガンガン行くとすっか。
いただき。
甘い。もう倒れてくれ。穴から俺は本気だよ。
覚悟はいい？
ビビんなよ。
必殺。
ドッカーン。さあガンガン行くとすっか。
いただき。
穴から俺は本気だよ。甘い。もう倒れてくれ。
覚悟はいい？
ビビんなよ。
必殺。
ドッカーン。さあガンガン行くとすっか。
いただき。みんなよろしゅう。そら。覚悟はいい？
ビビんなよ。
必殺。
ドッカーン。